we got things growing like different varieties of spinach. We got the kale, Chinese cabbage, we got peas, beans, and we've got new seedlings. So today we're just going to quickly go around the homestead and show you what you can grow in winter. Winter gardens don't have to be boring. There's beautiful flowers that can actually brighten up your garden. So come along, let's go and sort our winter garden out. So before I actually take you around the homestead and show you everything that we are growing and how the beds have actually changed, I want to show you some seedlings that we've been growing out. And these are seedlings from True Leaf Seeds. If you guys are interested, go to the link in my bio, hop onto their website. They have beautiful seeds that are heirloom and non-GMO, which is very important. And my seedlings look absolutely healthy. So I decided to actually plant a few seeds in the trays. You can see there's quite a lot in there. I have to thin them out. And I was thinking, there was a method that I used not too long ago about how to save my Chinese cabbage. What was happening is when they germinated and they got to a point where the true leaves were starting to come out, there was something that was busy eating all these beautiful fresh leaves. So when I planted my second batch, I decided to actually put them in my raised beds and put Coke bottles over them, acting as a biodome. As I was saying, a few weeks ago, I was having problems with my Chinese cabbage, and I put them in these raised beds when they were about, I would say, 10 centimeters. They had their true leaves on, but I could already see my second batch was starting to get eaten by, I think, snails and some other little insects. And I didn't want to lose my second batch. So what I did is that I planted them in the raised beds. I put these Coke bottles acting as a biodome. And look, every single one survived. And I've been harvesting from them. And I know that I got a few comments with people that had the same problem, and they started using that method, and the results was the same as mine. So to save your seedlings, go this method. I'm going to do the same with my mustard spinach. There's some that I do need to thin out, and instead of just throwing them away, I'm going to try and carefully take them out, put them in my raised beds, and put the biodome over them and see if they grow. What do I have to lose, right? So that is something I need to do today. And what I did also today was thin out the spinach, which is the black magic babies. I've got them already in my raised bed with the biodomes over them, just so that they don't get eaten. And I've left these seedlings in so that they can mature a little bit and get a little bit bigger before I actually transfer them. But if the biodome method works, I can actually transfer them out. These are the seedlings that I took out. I just took 2 out to test it, but I'm sure it will do fine because this method has really been working on things like my bok choy. And look at the Chinese cabbage. I've got all my Chinese cabbages from the seed that I planted all surviving because I did it this method. And so I thought I'll just do it with the bok choy as well, and they're growing. The snails seem to really attack my crops here. I've had a really bad snail season, but this bed is looking amazing. We've got all the leeks that are starting to grow. They are very slow in growing, but they're established now, and they'll just start thickening up. We've got all the bok choy seedlings in these little containers, which we never can have too many of. And then I've got some more bok choy growing alongside here. Got the lettuce and some different types of spinaches growing in between, some poppy flowers. So this bed is really getting established, looking amazing. We've got lettuce to fill the gaps up. You can see there we got our kale, and this is all beautiful winter crops you can actually plant. See how colorful this winter bed is, and you can see that the jalapeno is starting to slowly die off. I'll be overwintering all my peppers again, and I've just staked up the kale. Look how tall it's getting. And on this side we've got the blue shelling pea. Another thing I want to do today is that I've got some cayenne chilies, peppers on my plant, as well as some red jalapenos. I need to harvest them all. What I've been doing is just drying them out, so that is something we have to do today. The plant is going to be going to sleep, and I will be overwintering all the peppers. These are all the seedlings that are still growing out, and on that trellis I want to put the 2 peas. They will grow nasty. These are sugar snap peas from True Leaves. We've got some beets here, so once they are big enough we can also put them in the garden. And I don't wait until they're too big, because beets do not like their roots tampered with, and I don't actually like growing them in containers. I like to direct sow them, but it is what it is. I didn't have time to do that. And then I have a black palm kale. Haven't got this in the garden. Thought I'll grow it and see if anybody likes it. The onions are doing amazing. I've actually planted quite a few out in the garden already. But yeah, let's get going with planting these guys out and putting some biodomes over them. I absolutely have no idea if this is going to work, to be honest, guys. I'll make 2 rows here. So these are my little biodomes that I've done. Will it work? I don't know. But this is that's what it's all about. It's just testing things out, because if I never tried it on my Chinese cabbage, I would have never known it would have worked. So if it works on there, it has to work here. They are smaller than the Chinese cabbage, so hopefully they settle in and they like the environment I've created. Later on it should start creating condensation in here. The sun is hitting on here, so we'll just see in a couple of days how they're doing. Everything's actually looking so healthy. There's a few plants that I can take things off. Rabbits will love this, so keep that out for the rabbits. Yeah. It's all going for the rabbits, and I get to do this like every second day. It's amazing how quick kale grows. But I got curly kale, got the choy molloy, that's their favorite, and the blue dazzling kale. And as I mentioned, in the seedling trays we've got the black kale. Never grown that before, and hopefully I'll be able to grow it, that it matures, and I can taste the difference. If you don't know what to do with all these different varieties of kale, go to my Instagram page, and I've done a reel on the different kales that I grow at the homestead, what you can actually do with each one of these, because they do taste a little bit different in, well, when you harvest it fresh and also when you put it in food. But to me, they kind of like all the same, and the animals definitely have a favorite, and it's a choy molloy. It is the most popular one. You can do anything with this. But yeah, The curly kale is awesome. You can actually make kale chips out of these. But yeah, okay, let's continue. And here I got most of the peas and the broad beans. Broad beans is awesome if you are looking to grow beans in winter. It's one of the only beans that likes winter seasons, cooler weather. Okay, I've tried to clean up as much as I can in this bed. There's nothing that is going to harm my plants, all cleaned up nicely. This bed, I actually had to do a lot of cleaning up, do its thing. I wanted to show you. This kale was so tall. I cut it down. It was like literally tall. And if you see closely, if I can focus, it is growing new shoots on the side. So that is what kale does. It's exactly what I did with that plant. I cut it down. It actually needs another cut down. These guys are growing quite wonky on that side. Check. It's split. Still got beautiful kale. It tastes amazing. This little section, I'm going to just fill it up with soil. I'm going to sow some carrots over here. And that's about it. Don't need to do anything else. I actually harvest a whole bunch of lettuce during the week, and so I don't have to do it again. It's nice and clean. What do I have to do now? It's not ripe yet, so there's a few that can still ripen some more. This is definitely ripen. I can dry this out. It's a beautiful one. Winter is definitely set in. Banana plant has already lost its leaves, but as long as I protect the trunk, it'll be great. It'll be fine. It managed last year, so just need to make sure that I don't water this area or it doesn't rain too much, so that gets wet. That's when I can potentially lose my banana plant. I think I can actually take that off as well, because it's going into the fence. So guys, don't forget that winter gardens don't have to be boring. You can just bring in some color by planting some beautiful winter flowers, and the bees are still around. So you can see how lush the garden's looking, and it's actually so enjoyable to be in the gardens. All of this will go into the compost bin. Then my compost bin from the kitchen has already been dumped into the compost. We were successful. We managed to prune all the dead leaves and open up some spaces. This will go into my compost bin. We managed to harvest some awesome lavender. This will go inside the house. Smells amazing. And don't forget, if you want your garden to look this lush, don't forget to download your free ebook on how to make compost. The link is in my bio, and take a look at this video because it will show you how to actually get a winter garden going. We will see you in that video.